got to tell you, if the church is getting behind, legislation to build a new stadium, man, bragging rights.
Taking the gold pill. Nice job, Derek
dude.
Ryan. Welcome to the ward, brother. It's like a snipe hunt. He's like, oh yeah, don't you see the puck? What is going to be the name of the team?
Dude, an NHL team in Salt Lake City. Well, you want to name it after something like an animal that's local because that's politically correct. You can't be, they're not going to call them the Mormon Pioneers. Oh, actually, the Pioneers would be that'd be a cool mascot.
This is going to be the best day ever. This is going to be the best day ever. Wake up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio Morning Edition. I am your host, Cardinellis, and today I'm joined in the studio via Zoom by none other than the Associate Professor of all things apocryphal, Jonah Barnes, Ward Librarian. And we're going to be talking today about a really interesting story that's actually coming out of Salt Lake City here, okay? It looks like the NHL's lone Latter-day Saint is one step from the Stanley Cup Finals, and this is prompting conversations about maybe the church supporting legislation that would bring an NHL stadium to Salt Lake City. Jonah, I don't know if you remember the recent conversation that we had with non-member Cody talking about him suggesting that the church with its money, if it can build City Creek malls, why not just build like an NHL or a football stadium? And then what do you know? Only 4 or 5 days later, there's an article about the church at least supporting legislation to build the thing. And apparently we've got dudes popular enough to actually fill in some seats. Will there be a chapel inside? That's my only question is, will this NHL stadium also come with a chapel? Jonah, tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on before I veer verbose.
Yes. Okay. So there is an initiative to try to get a NHL stadium built in Salt Lake for hockey. That's the National Hockey League. Okay. They want to build one there in Salt Lake, maybe get ourselves a team. And we've got to start thinking of some hockey team names.
Yeah.
Come from Salt Lake. And heretofore, it's been kind of up in the air and nobody's quite sure. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has a lot of influence in local political circles, obviously, because they're mostly members of the church. Yeah. And the church is near and dear to all the populace. And so the church recently has come out and said, yeah, you know what? We're fine with that. We would support an NHL stadium going in. LDS hockey moms across the world rejoice. Rejoice. Okay.
That's one of the things I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's one of the things I won't say annoyed, but kind of took me off guard and I laughed at when Sarah Palin was running for she was vice president on the ticket with John McCain. And do you remember how she would get up there and say, like, we need to get out of the way of hockey moms? You know what I'm saying? And I remember thinking, that's so funny because in California we call them soccer moms. And I was like, I guess in other places they're called hockey moms. And I was like, all right. So it's a hockey wagon instead of a soccer wagon. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious.
Now there is another group that is Mormon moms or LDS moms or Latter-day moms, who, even if their kids don't play any sports, these moms are leaning over and picking up every Cheerio and goldfish cracker off the floor after sacrament meeting on Sundays. They're driving their kids to Mutual, and they're holding family home evenings, and they're cooking home cooked meals, and they're doing all this stuff so that their husband can go work full time to provide for them. So imagine an LDS mom who's also a hockey mom. This is like the convergence.
Dude, I can't remember the name of the comedian, but he used to call minivans Mormon attack vehicles.
Something like
that's pretty hilarious. So anyway, it looks like I didn't know we had an NHL hockey player. I don't follow the NHL myself, but I got to tell you, it's one of the funnest sports to watch live because my dad did have season tickets to the professional soccer team that played the professional indoor soccer league that played in the Anaheim Ducks arena. They would cover the ice with AstroTurf, and then they would play an indoor soccer league. And because of that, we got discount tickets to go watch like the Kings and the Anaheim Ducks and some of these other teams. And I got to tell you, hockey is pure adrenaline. If that actually got more popular in California, we don't have a lot of ice here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as like conducive to the family in the Great Lakes region that has the You know what I'm saying? Has the pond in the backyard, like in Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, right? But I got to tell you, like hockey guys, they are tough, and that is a fun sport when they're smashing on the glass right in front of you. It's like that, and PBA, the Professional Bull Riders Association, are wildly underrated sports to watch live. So I got to tell you, if the church is getting behind, legislation to build a new stadium, man, I got to tell you, I think that would be cool, man. So
now
keep going.
I thought for years, like professional wrestling, I thought that hockey was purely fake. Because when my brother would watch hockey, he'd be like, "Whoa, look at this!" And I'm like, "There's no puck on this ice. These guys are just waving these sticks around. They're just waving them around, and we're all going like this." As if we see something. Nobody sees anything. I could never keep track of the darn puck. And so I thought, this is a complete scam. And my brother it's like a snipe hunt. He's like, "Oh yeah, don't you see the puck?" Anyways, I thought that until I heard about this guy.
Okay.
Derek Ryan, brother.
Yeah,
Derek Ryan,
I'm looking at this.
Who, as an adult and a professional hockey player, took the gold pill.
Yeah.
He took the gold pill, this brother, the golden puck. Now, he converted to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, previously a Catholic. He, in an interview, he says, "I think I'm 100% certain I'm the only Mormon in the NHL."
Okay.
You'd probably know it.
Well, I was in New York. When I was in New York, gosh, this would have been 2010, so this is 14 years ago. So I'm sure as a professional athlete, his career has come and gone. But there's guys that last, over a decade in the NHL. There was a guy in my singles ward that was on one of the Canadian teams, I believe, in the NHL. So I know there's been members of the church that have become professional hockey players because...
Could be out there.
Yeah, there was one in my singles ward. But anyway,
You got to be tough.
Okay, cool.
But so this dude in an interview, I love this so much. This is so great. This is a professional hockey player. They interviewed the guy and about being a member of the church. And he says, he converted in 2013. His wife and his wife's family got him introduced to it. And he says, it's something that takes over your lifestyle. Yeah. Yeah. No joke, Derek. Yeah. Yeah. That's
kind of like professional hockey.
He said, so they said a typical work day for Ryan begins with a 20-minute commute from Calgary's West Springs neighborhood to the Flames downtown arena. So he goes to work.
Okay.
Via Bluetooth, he listens to various scriptures as he's driving. One chapter from the Book of Mormon, one from the Bible, and then a sermon from a well-known church leader. So this is probably a general conference talk that he's listening to. And then this is his time to reflect, recalibrate, and bridge his two passions, his home life and then hockey. I think this is the greatest thing ever. He has several children. Let's see, he's 32 years old or something like that. And he's balancing being a faithful priesthood holder and member of the church with slaying on the ice.
And I got to tell you, my favorite part of the article right here, besides obviously his beautiful wife and gorgeous kids, and even one of those cute dogs with short legs and big ears, I can't remember the name of it. This is hilarious. Look at this sub headline right here. What happened when Derek Ryan gave up coffee? One question Ryan is often is asked is how his life changed after he joined the church, in specific reference to coffee, which is absolutely hilarious. Okay, I am going to read this one right here. Coffee was totally my pregame ritual, he said. In the NHL and most professional hockey leagues, that's a pretty normal thing for guys to drink a lot of coffee in order to get ready for a game. So for me to give that up was a huge sacrifice. That's interesting. The first game Ryan played without coffee was in Austria. He remembers going out and, I went down too fast, going out and how he just felt terrible, lethargic, and tired. That's how he also played, he said, and afterward he was upset. Why am I doing this, he said. Despite the discouragement, Ryan didn't give up. After a couple of games, he felt he had increased energy, and sustained energy throughout the game is something he feels that he has gotten as a blessing from, doing his conversion and so on and so forth. So I thought that was really hilarious. He's like, yeah, giving up coffee. That was a rough one. You know what I'm saying?
That's so cool. That's so cool.
He must have been an already faithful and pretty good guy who had already been married and had his kids or something. Because I've known a lot of other professional athletes that have become members of the church, and for them it was usually girls was the hardest thing to give up, because you are indeed a pro athlete, right? But this guy's like, coffee, man.
Well, he said it sounds like he's he's faithfully married and has kids. I mean, he's not a, this isn't the NBA.
Yeah.
Sorry to throw shade on the NBA. But
Stop it.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not an NBA fan, man.
Well, not being a fan. That's one thing.
How many girlfriends do you have to bruise before people are like, why do we pay for this? Why are we watching these people? I don't know. I hate the NBA. But
I think you're just less familiar with the hockey scandals, bro. Because I've been to some,
that could be, I guess.
I've been to some bars in New York when the hockey guys show up. And I got to say, I've also been in a gun club when half of a professional basketball team will remain nameless, shows up in their Escalades and they're like straight up like not bedazzled. What's it called? Encrusted. That's what I was looking for. Encrusted like 1911s start popping off, double fist. I mean, these are millionaires that can afford all the ammunition in the world, So yeah, the gun club I go to has like all the celebrities in LA because it's the closest one to downtown LA. So whenever like a rock star gets some like semi-automatic that they want to like be able to show off to their buddies, they show up at my gun club, and it is absolutely absurd. It's like, sometimes you wonder who, like, not just who paid for this, but like, how is that legal? But anyway,
we can learn a lot. The Church of Jesus Christ can learn a lot from the NHL because if you don't follow hockey, if guys on the, in contrast to basically any other sport, if you touch them in the wrong way or hit some guy the wrong way, they call a foul or they throw a flag or a card or whatever it is. In the NHL, no, they don't do that. In the NHL, they let you sort it out. So the referees see two guys starting to poke at each other or beat each other, and they're like, we're going to see where this goes. And eventually the guys start fist fighting, and everybody kind of backs off and lets them beat the tar out of each other. These are tough dudes.
No, seriously.
And they've got knives on their shoes and a stick, and they start beating the tar out of each other until it gets bad enough that they're like, okay, fine, let's break it up. So they let them fight for like a minute. Now, if we did this in church basketball... Hear me out.
Do we need to toughen up church basketball, bro? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Think of it would get out. It would get out some of the energy, that these men have in the church. And then I think elders quorum and the rest would be it would just be so much more peaceful. You wouldn't have any dust ups or people getting offended. They'd get it all out on the ice. That's why, this guy's happily married with a beautiful family, as opposed to NBA players who have to take out their rage on their baby mamas and their girlfriends. NHL Stadium is coming. NHL Stadium is coming to Salt Lake. We're going to get a team. What are we going to call the team, Carden? What is going to be the name of the team?
An NHL team in Salt Lake City. Well, you want to name it after something like an animal that's local because that's politically correct. You can't be, they're not going to call them the Mormon Pioneers. Oh, actually, the Pioneers would be that'd be a cool mascot.
Hey, on the ice, you could call them the pushcart Pioneers or something.
Well, no, you would actually dress the ice machine.
Carters.
The ice machine that comes out that could be dressed like a little push cart, and then the person that was on it could wear a bonnet. You know what I'm saying? That would be pretty hilarious.
The Angels of Death. Oh, the Angels of Death.
Oh, like the Rockwell.
Porter Rockwell? It's just Rockwell's face?
Rockwell Angels of Death.
Dude,
that would be hardcore. So anyway, I thought it was pretty cool in this article before we close here, my man. I thought it was pretty cool that he met Wayne Gretzky, who apparently has I didn't know this, but he's the great one. He had the 4 Stanley Cup championships, and I don't know how many Derek has, but anyway, it looks like he got to have his kids meet the great one.
That's huge. That's huge.
Which is pretty rad. That's pretty cool. Bragging rights.
Taking the gold pill. Nice job, Derek Ryan. Welcome to the ward, brother.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, I think this is it's pretty awesome, and I think Bro Ryan is a cool guy, and I would go watch. I've seen enough Utah Jazz games. Okay, I've got enough Utah Jazz autographs. I would go and I would watch an NHL hockey game of the Pioneers playing the Los Angeles Kings. I think the Pioneers
stripling Warriors. What would you call
nothing them? Mesoamerican. They'd have to go Heartlander, dude. You know what I'm saying?
The Zelfs. Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So anyway,
builders.
Let us know what you guys think. I'm stoked to hear about this. I think we need, the church had a perpetual education fund. I think we need a perpetual professional athlete fund, especially in some of these sports that are not as big in the Western United States. We're talking lacrosse, we're talking hockey, lacrosse for the guys, field hockey for the girls, maybe dominoes, like the Dominicans and the Cubans play in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we need to expand our horizons here outside of just church basketball. In Argentina, they don't have church basketball courts. They have church soccer courts, which is pretty cool for a very specific type of cement-based soccer with a small, heavy ball that's hard to get off the ground. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So I'm telling you, if we could expand our horizons in church athletics, I would be all there for it. So anyway, as always, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. And as always, for this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring.